or done to the traveler. Officials local to the incident must report immediately to, and then there's a phone number there, and that phone number is a 24-hour live phone line, 24/7. And if you dial that phone number, it reaches the party that has access to the Bureau of Republic Records database, and he can pull up the records if an officer or a TSA officer calls that phone number to verify the card and the validity of it, and make sure that you are actually who you say you are and that you're actually in the database. And furthermore, it states that, the jurisdiction and status of you as a traveler, you're protected by law. You have a right to travel, and services cannot be refused. The citizen is not any security instrument. You cannot be lawfully arrested, detained, or cited for any monetary, corporate, commercial code violation purposes. It identifies you as a non-capital, not bonded, not licensed, non-commercial, non-resident, lawful traveler, not under executive order, protected by law, free. Driving competency and qualifications, boats, motorcycles, cars, vans, trucks, and other equipment. This card, when you hand this to an officer, he just can't get around it. There is really nothing he can do except move you on your merry way. For a number of different reasons. Number one is it is a guarantee. It guarantees remedy if you harm somebody else, or if you do damage to somebody else, or misbehavior. There's a remedy there through the de jure court. And also, there's a remedy there for you if somebody else harms you or trespasses against your right. The jurisdiction is the constitutional law, and they just can't get around this travel warrant. Now, does it work? It has so far. In fact, the fourth card that had been sent out to one of the people was a senator in Pennsylvania. And he was actually traveling and got pulled over for a traffic violation. Or it was actually she, handed the officer the card, and the officer did his thing, and he handed back the card and engaged in conversation with the senator. He thought it was a pretty cool card, and asked the senator where he could get one. He thought it was a great idea. And he waved her on and have a good day. Never cited her for the traffic violation. Never posed any threat or any adversarial conversation. Now, I don't know what you call that, but I call that a success. Through the weekend, I traveled out to Kansas City. Excuse me, hang on one second. I traveled out to Kansas City, and I didn't plan to travel out to Kansas City. I was out in Michigan for a number of days, and so I decided to get a airline ticket at the last minute and just fly out. And I realized that I didn't have my passport along or even any other form of ID except my IDs that I had in my pocket for the Republic. And I didn't think it should be a problem, so I purchased my tickets and went into the international airport there in Michigan and presented my ID. And they started asking questions. They said they didn't really have ever seen anything like this. I said, yeah, I understand that. And they said, well, what is it? I said, well, just read it, and it'll explain what it is. And so they read it. And, of course, it's very self-explanatory. And they didn't really know what to do with it. They didn't really want to hold me up either because the card says, you can't detain me. And there's a guarantee there if they do. And so they said, well, let me run and get the supervisor. And the supervisor came out and took the card and read it, and he asked me where I got this. I said, well, I'm with the Republic. It's the new government that has been established. And started talking about the Republic of the United States of America. And he started to ask me some questions, and I answered them to the best of my ability. I didn't hold anything back. said, I'm headed out to Kansas at a meeting. And he said, well, let me take these cards and let me put them in the system and get you on your travel ways. What he wanted to do was he wanted to take the cards that I showed him, and he wanted to take them in and clear them for travel. That was the exact words he used. He said, let me go and clear them for travel. And so he did and was in the office for a little bit, and then he came back out and he said, Mr. Peachy, there's a little bit something against you here with these cards. He said, the phone number doesn't work. And I dialed the phone number. It's disconnected. It says it's no longer in service. I said, it's going to be hard for me to clear them if that's the case. I said, well, I'm sorry about that, but we are in the process of changing headquarters, or the phone number is what I said, the phone number on the back of the card. So there may not be working right now, but I assure you it's a good card. And so he went back in, and not sure what he did, but he said, please understand, Mr. Peachy, that we do not want to detain you. We do not want to keep you from traveling. We would love to see you move right on through. And I know it's getting late. The airplane's going to be leaving soon. And he actually went over and made sure that the airplane doesn't go without me, and he came back in and went back in. And so finally they let me go. They actually came out with a piece of paper. I had to sign my name, and they let me go with it. And on the way home, I used it again. And, of course, I didn't have any problems with it then. They just moved me right on through. No questions asked. So I'm happy to report that we've got something that is not just a promise, it's actually proof in the pudding, and that it does work. They can be ordered at the new website called Bureau of RepublicRecords.org. That's Bureau of RepublicRecords.org. And, the revenue that the cards bring go back to pay off the equipment that the National purchased to produce these cards, and the expenses involved in producing the cards and everything else that is involved in it. The website is also the website that we're going to be using for the records website. The way the cards will work is the Declaration of Sovereign Rights that you all have signed to join the Republic. That paperwork needs to go to your governor. The copy that you signed in the People Assembly, or however you did that in your state, and the governor needs to put his seal on that Declaration of Sovereign Rights. And from there, he'll upload it into the Bureau of Republic Records. And from there, the printer of the card can actually verify that you are in the database, in the public records, or in the Republic records. Because we need some kind of a verification to answer to when we get called up by these officials and these cops when you use these cards. Because we're not about to put something out that we cannot absolutely validate and stand behind and guarantee and assure. Because we haven't got a guarantee on it, and so we got to make sure that you are who you say you are, and got to have the paperwork in place in order for it to fly. And that's actually what makes it work, is the paperwork and everything being just right. As you can see in the website, when you pull up the website, there's a number of different sections there. We're working on the paperwork, the Declaration of Sovereign Rights, the County Settlement Constitution, the Zero Covenant, and the procedure and the process for people, or for new people to go through the process of joining the Republic and becoming part of the Republic. The paperwork that it would take to join the Republic and to become officially established in one of the free states, I'm working on that right now. In the next 10 days, that is my objective, to have everything finished before Christmas, because people will be talking about it and sharing it and marketing it during the Christmas holidays. We expect exponential growth over the holidays and the New Year, because everybody's talking about all the things that ain't working today. And we do want to have something up and running that they can talk about that is actually working. We have a number of different sections there for the executive branch, legislative, the judicial branch, as far as records keeping. This is just the Bureau of Republic Records database. It is a very, very highly secured website, and there is a great level of security features that have been built in uploading documents. It is actually completely secure and safe, so much so that it is practically undetectable and untraceable for any third party that would like to stick their nose in our business. I would like to reiterate to you on the line tonight that, the enemy is at work, and we know that the de facto is broke, and we can only get so much done by focusing on what doesn't work and on the things that are broken. It is now time for us to pull together in unity and to act like a body and to show to the world that we actually are someone and are something that they can depend on, and that we are a haven for the rest, because they're looking for one. There's many folks that are realizing that this thing just ain't working, and they are looking for something. I had a meeting in Michigan the last weekend, and I started explaining some of the things that we're doing, and there's an old gentleman that came up to me, and he just cried and cried. He said, "Mr. Peachy, you have given me a message of hope that I haven't had for 30 years. In the last 30 years, I have never heard a message carry this type and kind of hope that you have given me tonight." And he was a retired veteran. And the retired veterans are especially very emotional, and they are very much concerned about what's happening because they fought for America, and they are concerned what's happening, and they are really, really grateful for what we're doing. Some of them are older and maybe can't do as much anymore, but even just being with us means a lot to us younger people, you veterans on the line. We need your support more than words can speak. We know the de facto is broke, it's going down, and there is only one thing to do, and that is to go up, and to build up, and to stick together, and to stick with each other, and to stop dividing each other, but take each other's part and stick together and work for each other instead of against each other. And we're going to survive this. It's going to be it could be a pretty tough winter for some folks, but together we can all survive, and maybe even survive coming out the other end. I'd like to talk about the governor's seals for a couple minutes. I would like for all the governors, I don't know how many are on the line tonight, but we would like for you to make sure that you send all the seals or your seal into my email address, because we would like to send them off to the printer and also to the web host provider, so that the Declaration of Sovereign Rights could be printed with your seal on. They need your seal. So please provide us with your seal. If you don't have a seal, we'll provide you or help you with one if that's what you want us to do. Other than that, just send us what you would like for us to use or what you have approved in your state. The American Rangers program, we're also going to be starting to work on that a little bit. Drew Rayner from, I believe it's Mississippi or Missouri. Is it Mississippi or Missouri? Good. I believe it's Missouri, Kelby, isn't it?
No, he's Mississippi.
He's Mississippi, okay. He's in charge of the Rangers program, and I'm not going to talk much about it, but I constantly get phone calls from people that are looking for answers, especially people that are sitting in jail waiting to get out. And as always, I don't like to put something out there that doesn't work. I like to put stuff out there that absolutely works, or at least the best possible chance to work.